Hey Isaac, how are you guys doing? Hope you're all enjoying the virtual JNC. Right now, you are here, so of course, you're going to understand how high performing teams work. And throughout this workshop, you'll be able to understand whether you are a part of a high performing team or do you want to be a part of a high performing team. So, before we move into the workshop itself, let me introduce myself. Uh, my name is Maliha, and I'm the local committee president of Isaac in Hyderabad.
And my name is Madhav. I am the local committee president of ISEC in Delhi University. Right. So before we begin this session, what I would want you guys to do is maybe get a journal because we'll be going through a lot of journaling in this session itself because I will want you guys to introspect about a few things as you guys do in a team itself, right? So what I want you to introspect right now is, according to you, what is a high performing team? You can probably take about 20 seconds, 30 seconds to answer this question. Just write it down in your journal itself. So while you're doing that, Maliha, according to you, what is a high performing team?
I think it's pretty defined for me. A team that is really empowered to do something and self-directed does not require a lot of direction from outside, but is internally directed, as well as very highly motivated. Not the motivation that comes within like small durations and periods, but a motivation that is always there, while accepting challenges that are surrounding them per se, but also ensuring that these challenges they're not only facing them but also achieving results because of these challenges within a short period of time. So I think a high performing team for me would be a team that is empowered, self-directed, highly motivated, but a challenge of achieving results within a short time period.
All right, awesome.
Right.
So, right. So Maria just told us what is a high performing team for her. And I hope you guys by now have introspected and journalized about what is a high performing team for you. Uh, Now, in order to have a high performing team, we need to understand what is the most essential component. Who is the key for a high performing team? And the answer is right in front of you, the team leader. The team leader by far is the most important person in order to have a high performing team. And remember, the conversations a leader doesn't drive will not be present, right? So in order to have a high performing team, you need to have conversations. Like Maria said, you need to have, if you want your team to be empowered, if you want your team to achieve results in a short period of time, if you want your team to face challenging situations, you need to have these conversations in a team itself. So in a crux, if you want to have a high performing team, you need to start with conversations.
Right. So how do we ensure that these conversations are happening? It is very easy to say, hey, go have conversations. But how do we ensure that these conversations that we are having in our teams, inside our departments are productive and contributing to our growth? The answer is very simple and you all know about it. It's basically team standards. Team standards is not probably just a process, a system. It's probably something more than that. It is about how you go ahead and have conversations. If you go ahead with respect to any team standards, probably you're going to do building phase for your team, or performing phase, or closing phase. These entire standards you're going to deliver to them through conversations, right? So make team standards more than just Google sheet filling, more than a tracker that you're supposed to fill, more than a process that you're supposed to follow inside of ISEC. Make sure the team standards become a conversational space for you and your team to become better and become a high performing team. And to know more about team standards, you can always go and look out for the blue code, which is basically a team leader's bible inside of ISEC. You need to definitely go and check it out. If you do not know what a blue code is, I highly recommend you go and ask your VPTM right this moment. You go and text them. You need to know what the blue code is, right?
Right.
Moving ahead.
Awesome. So, right. So you just got to know about Low Code, which is a team leader's Bible, which is very, very true, by the way. Now, again, we want to understand how a team leader sets the culture of the team, because that is very, very important. And there's a saying that's very, very common, that's strategy eats culture for breakfast, right? And how exactly, as a team leader, can you set the culture of the team? So the first point is extremely important. That is, inspire more than the drive. A team leader inspires more than the drive. Now, as a team leader, you can't just push your members to achieve goals. You can't just give them like an endpoint and expect them to do everything on their own while you're just pushing them to do the task. As a team leader, you're supposed to inspire them, you're supposed to motivate them, and you're supposed to give them the required resources to complete that task in itself. Second point is to resolve conflicts and increase cooperation. Now, there's a huge misunderstanding that if there's a conflict in a team, the team is not healthy or it is not a great team, and so on, right? And again, like I said, that's a huge misunderstanding because it's completely natural, it's completely healthy to have conflicts in a team. Conflicts happen when members in a team actually care about the team in itself. The members in the team have different opinions, but they all want to achieve the end result. So it's completely okay if in a team you are having some conflicts. However, as a team leader, you're supposed to resolve conflicts and increase cooperation in your team. You're supposed to bring your members on the same page and ensure that everybody understands what they are saying and everybody's opinion is respected. Third point, which is also extremely important, as a team leader, you need to build trust and are trusted yourself. Now, how do you do that? That's by accountability. Now, accountability is not just one sided in a team. You can't just hold your members accountable to you, but you also need to be accountable to your team as well. So, if you're saying something that this is how the thing is supposed to be, as a team leader, you need to consistently do that. And you need to create an environment where the members feel that they are trusted and that they can trust you as well.
Right. Thank you, Madhav, so much for explaining that so precisely. It cannot get better than that. Right now, what we'll do is, considering you guys came here for a workshop, we are going to give you guys a workshop experience. So, what I need you guys to do is follow the instructions very thoroughly so that we're able to give you an entire workshop experience, even though probably it's virtual. Right now, go to your on your laptops or your mobile phones, open the link bit.ly HPT workshop. HPT workshop. Just open that sheet. Now, if you're on that sheet right now, let me just give you a second there to open that sheet. Right. Very awkward, but okay. If you have opened that sheet. Now you will find the sheet designed in such a way that you will be able to put your name, your LC name, and your Instagram ID, and then you have certain questions that are present where you will be able to answer the questions that are going to come ahead. Now, what happens is, as soon as you keep on answering these questions, the sheet is going to be filled, obviously, duh. And then people who are going to come next to you, if they're going to read your responses and if they find your responses interesting enough, what they will do is probably they go check out your Instagram ID and get in touch with you, and then you can have a conversation way beyond this virtual workshop, where you can talk to each other about how you can ensure how you're cooperating with each other and like giving out ideas to each other, etc., etc., and not just like doing this workshop for the sake of doing it. Right. Moving ahead, in the entire workshop itself, this virtual pre-recorded workshop, you're going to get 3 minutes to reflect and answer each question that you have. So you will get a question, you have to go back to your sheet and you have to fill it over there, and you get 3 minutes for doing that. So it's no rocket science. You just have to like go easy on yourself, probably what you will be doing, etc., etc., and just answer as if you're having a conversation. But in this situation, you're having a conversation with the Google sheet. So right, can we go ahead? We have a certain something for you, which is like a video clip that I want you guys to probably listen to it. It will be obviously you have listened to it before, but right now you'll get a different kind of feeling when we explain what it is about.
Six stones, three teams, one shot. We lost friends, we lost family, we lost a part of ourselves. Today we have a chance to take it all back. You know your teams, you know your missions. Get the stones, get them back. One round trip each, no mistakes, no do-overs. Most of us are going somewhere we know. That doesn't mean you should know what to expect. Be careful. Look out for each other. This is the fight of our lives, and we're gonna win. Whatever it takes. Good luck.
Right. So I'm guessing you probably watched Avengers and Avengers Endgame before, so you understand the context of what I'll be talking about, right? So the reason we wanted you to watch this video is just the diversity of the team itself. Like as a captain of the team, Captain America, he had people like Iron Man, he had Hulk, Thor, and so on, right? The team can't get more diverse than that. They're completely different individuals, right? And we talked about how we can inspire more than drive, right? We talked about how we can't really push our members, but we need to inspire them from time to time. And that's what Captain America did brilliantly. And that's what we want you guys to do as team leaders as well. Now, in order for us to achieve that, there are a couple of questions that we want you to answer, like Malia said. So we'll be going ahead with the first question. You guys can take 3 minutes to answer this question. Go to that Google Sheet, you'll find this question, and you get 3 minutes. If you want more time, you can just pause the video because it's recorded, and you can take more time as well. So the first question is, uh, how do you create energy and maintain enthusiasm in the team, right? So for this, you get 3 minutes. So go ahead. Right. I hope you guys are done by now. I hope you guys have written your answers about the first question itself. Now we have the second question as to how you can inspire more than you can drive your team. Second question is, how can you make them feel that what they are doing is of great importance? And again, the same procedure. You guys have 3 minutes to answer the question. So good luck. All right. I hope you guys are done by now with both of these questions. And by answering both of these questions, maybe you were able to understand yourself as a leader more, and you were able to understand that how can you actually inspire your team more than you can drive your team in the entire coming semester. Now, moving on, we have one more video for you, and again, something that you probably have watched because it's a very, very common TV show. So here you go.
Okay, Rachel, why don't you start talking first? All right. I feel that this is totally unjustified. She gave me the green light. I did nothing. Do you think I can't see you on the TV set? All right, Monica, if there is something that you would like to share. You know, you had no right to go out with him. That is the most ridiculous. You sold me out. I did not say you did. You did absolutely sold me. Did you just flick me? Okay, well, you wouldn't let me finish, and I was just. That hurt. Quit flicking. Ow! You flicked me first. Ow! Get it! Ow! Now I would let go if you both stop. Oh, what do you want me to stop seeing him? Is that what you want? You want me to just call him up and tell him that you're seeing him instead? Is that what you want? Okay. Oh, that's what you want? Yes. Fine. Fine. There we go. You know what? If we were in prison, you guys would feel like my bitches.
Right. As you might have seen that video a lot of times, it's a very common TV show. If you might have seen how Phoebe was the person who was trying to resolve a conflict that was occurring between Monica and Rachel. Here she gave them time to talk it out by themselves, if you see, but they couldn't do it because a certain individual is required to ensure that the resolution is happening in a proper, precise manner. Now, when she comes in between, she ensures that she gives them still both the space to resolve their conflict. And if you see, the smallest thing that was done is probably the one person telling what that person wanted out of the other person. That's as simple as it can get. The important factor here is to give your team the space to talk things out, a space where people are listening by the hearing with the intention of listening and not responding. It's the objective of a conflict resolution is not for you to just keep talking and people are listening and letting it go. The objective here is to listen, understand, and then respond to the other person. So as a team leader, there are a few questions, couple of questions that I want you guys to answer probably for yourself. We'll follow the same drill. You'll get 3 minutes for each question. The first question being, um, how do you resolve differences quickly and promote cooperation, right? It's not only about resolving the differences but also promoting cooperation so that it does not happen. Like, say for example, you're a team of 4, you have 2 members having conflicts between each other. It's fine, you resolve it, but if the same 2 people are having it again, that does not make sense, right? Like, create new problems for yourself to solve. So you have 3 minutes for it. All right. I hope you guys are done with your 3 minutes, or probably more than that. We have no way to know how many minutes you took. But moving ahead, the second question is, what is your feedback culture and what should it be like currently? What is the feedback culture that is followed in your teams, and how it should be, how is an ideal feedback culture that you envision for your team? Think about it, because this is the most important aspect. Even if you want to avoid conflicts or resolve conflicts, something that is really really important is feedback, because as leaders, you yourselves are on a learning journey, and you yourselves need to improve constantly to become better versions of yourselves, right? So you need to have feedback for that matter of fact. So how ensure, think of how your feedback culture currently is. Again, you get 3 minutes for it. Right. I hope you guys are done. And you now understand better about how you can manage probably conflicts, etc., etc., and how you can have a healthy team environment inside your team, and how your team can perform much better with conflicts happening as well. Moving ahead, again, there is a video that we want you guys to watch. This is like a retro thing, like it's virtual, but we want to go back and reminisce some moments. So here we go.
हम 120 दुश्मन 2000 कहाँ के हुए साहब जी सच्चे बादशाह 10वीं बादशाही श्री गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी महाराज ने फरमाया है चिड़िया नाल जे बाज लड़ावा ता गोबिंद सिंह नाम तरावा साहब जी जब चिड़िया बाज के साथ लड़ सकती है तो हम तो इंसान हैं हम नहीं जाएंगे कोई नहीं जाएगा तो मैं ये समझ लूं कि तुम सब मिलकर मेरे साथ दुश्मन का सामना करोगे वीजा अगर इस फैसले के बाद तुम में से किसी एक ने भी भागने की कोशिश की तो मैं उसे गोली मार दूंगा। भाई गुरु ना करे, अगर कहीं मेरे कदम डगमगा गए और मैंने भागने की कोशिश की तो तुम सब मिलकर मुझे गोली मार देना।
Right. So I'm not sure if you watched that movie or not, because it's fine. Even I have not watched that movie, and it's fine if some of you did not understand what they were saying because it's in Punjabi. But essentially, I'll give you the gist of it, right? So Sunny Deol, as you guys know, they had a war going on, and he was the captain. He was the leader, right? And essentially, he was just talking about that if his members are agreeing to participate, if his members are actually going to war with him, he's going to hold them accountable. At the same time, he wants his members to hold him accountable as well in case he tries to leave, in case he tries to run. And that is essentially what we talked about in the very beginning as to how you can build trust in your team itself. And that happens through mutual accountability. You can't just hold your members accountable, you have to hold yourself accountable as well. And you have to consistently deliver what you promised to deliver to your members. Now, in order for us to understand that how can we build trust and be trusted in our team, again, we have two questions for you. We follow the same drill. You have to go to that sheet and answer these questions in that sheet itself. So the first question is, how do you cultivate an environment of trust within the team? And we talked about creating an environment that the members feel comfortable in. We talked about creating an environment where there's mutual trust, right? So now, how do you, as a team leader, cultivate an environment of trust within the team itself? So you have 3 minutes to answer this question. All right, I hope you guys are done with the first question. We now have the last question for you in for this workshop, which is, how do you ensure that you are consistent in what you do? walk the talk, and how do you ensure that you walk the talk, which is very important, by the way, because that's the theme of the year. So again, we talked about being accountable to your team as a leader and delivering the promises that you've promised to your members, right? And doing that on a consistent level. So as a team leader, how do you ensure that you are consistent in what you do? Again, we follow the same process. You guys have 3 minutes. Awesome. I hope you guys are done with both of these questions. And now you're able to understand better that how can you build trust and be trusted in your team in a better way.
Right. I understand the fact that now you guys have probably like reflected and answered few of your questions. You know how your team would be or how you envision your team to be. But with the entire context that is happening around us, with the COVID situation, with the virtual engagement, with parents, with college, with having no certainty of things, certainty of what is going to happen, etc., etc., we are always juggling as leaders, as members of ISEC, or as humans in this particular scenario. We at this moment during these times, what happens is we lose our focus. We lose the focus of what is important right now, what needs to be done, and we start deviating into different aspects. So right now here is a very simple Venn diagram for all of you. There are things that matter, right? There are things that matter that are absolutely correct and absolutely you should be doing. And then there are things that you can control, right? Not every time it happens that the things that matter are the things that you can control. For example, simple things that matter to us in ISEC is cross cultural exchanges, but can we control it right now because of the pandemic? No, we can't, but it matters. So there are certain examples like this I can keep on giving you guys, but you guys understand the concept, right? So what you do is like write down a list of things that matter and list of things that you can control, and you will find probably like 3 to 4 things that you can probably be doing for the same aspect. For example, leadership development in this case, right? Even though we are not probably like you, our operations were halted for like 6 months, but still we ensured that leadership development was happening inside the members of ISEC. And that is how we were controlling the virtual engagement that we were happening that we were doing with them, and that is one of the things that that matters and that you can control. So that these are things that you can find out within yourselves, for your teams, etc., etc. And these are the things that you should be focusing upon for your teams in the coming semester, in the current context itself. Now when you start focusing on these things is when you will ensure that you are having a high performing team. And all I want to say at the end is, you guys got this, you guys can do it at the end of the day.